Hi children, welcome to our online class today. How are you? Our today's lesson is on water use in Tungabhadra river basin. Yesterday we discussed water use in an area, water use in a region. In this session, we will discuss water use in Tungabhadra river basin. Before going into that, now let us know some facts about Tungabhadra. This is Tungabhadra river. This is South India map. This is South India map, not the whole India, only South India map. This is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Goa, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. All these states are combinedly called as South Indian states. This is Tungabhadra river. This is Tungabhadra river. Tungabhadra is a tributary of river Krishna. This is Krishna river. This is Krishna river. Tungabhadra is one of the tributaries of Krishna river. In Ramayana times, Tungabhadra is called Pampa river. Tungabhadra is called Pampa river. Tungabhadra is formed with the confluence of two rivers. Tungabhadra is formed with the confluence of, that means with the joining of two rivers. This is Tunga and this is Bhadra. Tunga and Bhadra. These are the two rivers. These two rivers originate in Varaha Hills of Western Ghats near Mulaganga in Chikmagalur district. Near Mulaganga in Chikmagalur district. All these are Western Ghats. Tunga and Bhadra originate in Western Ghats in Varaha Hills near Mulaganga in Chikmagalur district. After passing some kilometers, both the rivers join together near here. This is Kodli. This is Kodli in Shimoga district. Both the rivers, Tunga and Bhadra, joined at Kodli. After joining, it is called Tungabhadra. It is called Tungabhadra. The catchment area of Tungabhadra is in three states. This is Karnataka, this is Telangana, this is Andhra Pradesh. The catchment area of Tungabhadra is in three states. We can divide the catchment area of Tungabhadra into three parts. This part is upper catchment area, this part is middle catchment area, this part is lower catchment area. We can broadly divide two parts. Upper catchment area and middle catchment area are in Karnataka, and the lower catchment area is in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The total catchment area of Tungabhadra is 71,417 square kilometers. Kilometer square. Both are same. The total catchment area of Tungabhadra is 71,417 square kilometers. Out of this 57,671 square kilometers is in only Karnataka. That means most of the catchment area is in Karnataka. This is most of the catchment area in Karnataka. A little part of catchment area is in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. in this river system, a reservoir is built here. A reservoir is built here. This is Bhadra Reservoir. This is Bhadra Reservoir. This is Tunga River. This is Bhadra River. This is Bhadra Reservoir. This is Tungabhadra Reservoir. In Andhra Pradesh, here is a barrage was constructed. This is Sunkesula Barrage. Sunkesula Barrage in Kurnool district. Sunkesula Barrage in Kurnool district. These three are the reservoirs, major reservoirs on Tungabhadra river system. These three states are sharing the Tungabhadra waters. These three states are sharing Tungabhadra waters. This is a major dam. This is a major dam, Tungabhadra Dam. Tungabhadra Dam was started in 1943, before independence. In 1943 and completed in 1953. Started in 1943, before independence. After 10 years, it was completed in 1953. These are the facts about Tungabhadra River. Our next point is land use and availability of water. Land use and availability of water. According to official statistics, farmland is a major land cover in these three states. Farmland means agricultural lands. Most of the catchment area is agricultural land. In some areas, the catchment area is covered with trees, groves, cultivable waste, forests, and also natural vegetation. In some areas, the catchment area is covered with tanks. These tanks are useful to store water and useful to make irrigation facilities to the fields in small extents. Some regions have canal irrigation. Facilities. Some regions are depending on rainfall and groundwater. There is a lot of difference between these two regions. The land which has irrigation facilities, the land which is depending on borewells, and borewells means groundwater and rainfall. There is a lot of difference in the availability of water between these two regions. Our next point is encroachment of public lands. Encroachment means occupy forcibly, with force. Encroachment of public lands. Encroachment of public land for cultivation is common in this catchment area. Because of this encroachment, more land is brought under cultivation at the expense of land cover. That means so many trees were cut down to make them cultivable land. Rampant felling of trees and mining are causing forest degradation and the destruction of the forest. This also leads to flash floods. If there is no tree cover, there is no way to percolation of water into groundwater underground. There is no chance of percolation into soil. The next point is loss of water storage capacity. Tungabhadra Reservoirs. This is Tungabhadra's reservoirs. Tungabhadra reservoir has gradually lost its water storage capacity over decades. For about 50 years ago, the water storage capacity of Tungabhadra is 3,766 million cubic meters. About 50 years ago. And now it is decreased to, it is confined to only in these 50 years, the Tungabhadra reservoir lost its water capacity by as much as 849 million cubic meters. This is the last capacity. This is the total capacity before 15 years. In these 15 years, 859 million cubic meters lost the Tungabhadra reservoirs. What is the reason for this? Because of mining, soil erosion, dust, etc. Here is Kudremukh area. Kudremukh area is here. Kudremukh area is famous for iron ore mining. This is Sandur area. Sandur area is famous for manganese mining. All these areas are famous for iron ore mining. These are most important mining places. The mining industry in these areas are in the hands of politicians. They have the power in their hands. They don't follow rules and regulations. Because of this, most of the reservoirs, tanks, and water resources are facing siltation problems. All this catchment area is facing the problem of siltation. Even the Tungabhadra reservoir also facing the siltation. It lost 849 million cubic meters in these 50 years. And next point is conflicts among the three states. Conflicts means quarrels, controversies between among these three states. What is a useful source in this area, particularly in this area? This area is under the rain shadow area of southwest monsoons. The southwest monsoons blow in this direction. In this direction, the Western Ghats are here. They until they stop the southwest monsoons. So all these areas are facing lesser rainfall. So it is very precious to the people of all these states. So there are some conflicts among Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. Tungabhadra waters is very crucial for 5 districts in these 3 states. Raichuru and Ballari districts, Kurnool and Anantapur districts, and Jogulaba district in Telangana. For these 5 districts, Tungabhadra waters is a lifeline. 80% of the population in this catchment area, are depending on the cultivation. They are cultivating paddy, jowar, sugarcane, cotton, etc. This is suitable for semi-arid crops. But most of the farmers cultivating more water taking crops like paddy and sugarcane. This causes shortage of water to the farmers in the ending points of the canals. Some of the farmers are using more water, some of the farmers have no water. This is not a ideal situation. We have to change this situation to benefit all the farmers. Next, pollution and crops. Population and crops. It is already discussed here. Industrialization, towns, pollution. For the past 2 decades, more industries were set up in this catchment area. Nearly 27 large industries, 27 large-scale industries, and 2,543 small industries were established in these 20 years. The industrialization is increasing very rapidly in this area because of mining activities. There are coal mines, manganese mines, and also charcoal mines, charcoal industry also there. Because of industrialization, towns are also emerging. More towns emerged in this area. Urbanization process is also increasing in this area. Because of urbanization, the more water is also needed to them. The water for the agriculture has to be shifted to the factories and also to the towns. The share of the water of farmers is decreasing because of industrialization and towns. Some sections of people are benefited from the industrialization. The people, particularly in towns, benefited from the industrialization. At the same time, pollution also a major threat to that area. Pollution is a side effect of the industrialization. In the initial stages, all the factories released their wastewater into the rivers directly. In 1984, an incident took place. The fishes on a large scale were killed because of effluents. Effluents means wastewaters. Because of wastewaters, fishes are on large scale killed in Tungabhadra river. After that, the governments enacted laws to prevent pollution. After purification, they have to release water into the rivers. Some laws have been enacted, but they are not properly implemented even now. That is a problem. But as some of the lesson, Tungabhadra river. Tungabhadra originates in the Western Ghats in Varaha Hills near Molaganga in Chikmagaluru district. Tunga and Bhadra are confluence near Kodli. Tungabhadra enters Andhra Pradesh here. Here is a Kautal Mandal. Tungabhadra enters at Kautal Mandal in Andhra Pradesh. It merges with Krishna near Sangameswaram. This is Sangameswaram. This is Kautal. This is Kodli. The land use and availability. Most of the land is under agriculture, and some land is under the trees, groves, and cultivable waste, forest, natural vegetation, etc. Loss of water storage capacity. In these 50 years, Tungabhadra has lost some extent of land, some extent of water capacity of its actual storage. Population and crops. Nearly 80% of population in this area is depending on cultivation. They grow paddy, jowar, sugarcane, cotton, and finger millets. Finger millets means ragi, chollu, finger millets. These 5 crops are grown in this area. Next, industrialization, towns and population. In these 20 years, 27 major industries and 2,543 small-scale industries were established in this area. Because of these establishments, towns emerged. More towns emerged. The more water is diverted to industries and towns, the share of the farmers is decreased. And at the same time, a pollution also the side effect of the industrialization. To prevent the pollution in 1984, after 1984, the governments enacted several laws. Okay, thank you.